Hey guys, welcome to the episode here on the Do Something podcast. Hey Camden, do you have any regrets?
That's a great question. Let's go ask some people.
What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret is not being nicer to people when I was younger, because I feel like I would have a lot more friends and be in a better place if I just accepted everybody like I do now.
Not being able to tell people no.
Being her roommate.
Dating my ex.
I don't really have one, I guess.
Not being a practicing Catholic in high school.
I don't have any.
Awesome. What about you?
One time I was playing hockey, I went to hit a kid and I missed and knocked myself out. And I'm probably a little bit dumber because of it.
Not sticking up for myself enough.
I would say regret not taking as many chances.
Hey Ivy. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What's your biggest regret?
Calling.
Oh, I don't have any regrets, man. Everything happens for a purpose.
So on this episode, we're going to be talking about regrets. And regrets is something that we've all experienced at some point in our lives. But especially in our early stages of life, regrets are these smaller moments. For example, spending way too much time on TikTok or watching too many YouTube videos and not spending enough time studying for an exam. But as we progress, as we get older and go through life, these regrets turn into somewhat of a bigger and larger theme. For example, spending way too much time at work and not enough time building connections with our loved ones. But to give us a more concrete example, I'll pass it on to Camden to give us a solid definition.
Thank you, Alejandro. So the definition that we are rolling with for this podcast of regret goes like this. Regret is when our present situation could have been better if we had done something different in the past. And now I'm going to give you guys a question to think about. What are the most common regrets at the end of one's life?
And to answer that question, we've gone out to the fields and we've asked people what their biggest regrets in life so far have been. And we've also scoured the internet to see what are the most common regrets when people reach the end of their lives. And what we come to find out is that the biggest regrets in life are the following: not pursuing our dreams, not pursuing connections with others, and not doing things that make us happy. So let's talk about that first one. The first one is not pursuing our dreams. And I feel like as a kid, we've all had our crazy dreams. For example, we wanted to be an astronaut. We want to be a firefighter. We want to be a doctor, a nurse, whatever it is. But as we get older, those dreams and those aspirations of wanting to be like an artist or a musician, like start getting further and further apart from our reality. And as we grow older, we start seeing our dreams and we start thinking to ourselves, we can't do that anymore. I can't pursue that anymore. It's a far-fetched dream. But it's sad to think that one of the most common replies to what people regret at the end of their lives is not pursuing that thing. And I think a large part of it might come from society, because as society tells us that in order to be happy and live life with no regrets, you have to kind of follow the path that's already set out for you. For example, going to high school, getting good grades, going to college, finding your soulmate, getting married, getting a house, good job, and be happy. And that's kind of way to go. But like at the end of the day, you're kind of following somebody else's dream plan that they kind of set up for you, that it's not really yours. And you don't have much say in that unless you take action to actually do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And a really important aspect of that is being true to yourself. Like you're saying, not necessarily following the perfect path that's laid out for you and finding your own. For example, I mean, I know for me, in high school, I mean, I had no idea what I wanted to do, obviously. Most people don't in high school. And so I was trying to find my way, and I was thinking through it, and I saw something that music therapy was a thing. I'm like, that sounds so cool. Like, I love psychology. I love music. I'm like, this is a perfect mix. And then I actually met up with someone to see what it was all about. And I found out that like the actual day-to-day work isn't for me. And that's totally fine. But I think it's really important that that step that I'm just sharing with you, things like that are what we need to be doing. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck doing a job that you don't want to wake up for every morning. That's really important. You want to be in a job that you're excited about, that gets you going during the day. And it's very tough to do, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of progress. But the thing is, you do need to take those steps to get to your dreams. Because like we say, like the kid dreams of being an astronaut or a firefighter. Like I had some of those dreams, obviously, when I was younger, and they've definitely evolved as I've gotten older and I've learned more, and that's totally fine. But you need to also evolve with keeping up with that. You need to know your dreams. A lot of people right now don't know what they want to do. I know for me, I need to work on this because I don't know exactly where I want to take my major and what I want to do for the rest of my life. I know I can always change, but at the end of the day, you need to take the first steps. You need to take the first steps at understanding who you are and what your dreams are. Another regret that people tend to have at the end of their lives is regretting not building connections with others. And I think the true heart that stems from that regret is that people take for granted connections until they're gone. And very recently, there was a tragic event up in Boulder where our community lost 10 lives. And it was a big wake-up call for me because we were a few blocks away, and I couldn't help but think that that could have happened to anyone, to me, to my friends. And you never know when something like that is going to happen to people close to you. And so it's very, very important to live in the moment.
I think you bring up this really good point, Camden, about living in the moment. And I think that's important because we never know what's going to happen to us day to day, hour to hour, and our lives might be flipped upside down in the seconds, right? And there's this saying, it's called Carpe Diem. It's actually something that we grew up hearing all the time back in high school. But Carpe Diem means seize the day. And I think that's such a powerful mindset to kind of live life at, because no matter what, it kind of means like you're not going to give up the opportunity to hug your mom one last time, or the people, your loved ones. And it means like you will stay the extra couple minutes to talk to a buddy, because that connection is just so powerful. So I think that can really help at the end of your life. Like if you're confident that you lived every single day the best you could, what regret will there be? And obviously there's going to be times where we can't seize the day every single day. And that's a given. That's just part of life. But if we just attempt to do that, I think we'll just be so much better. And that third regret that kind of goes along with that last one, that the most common regret is not doing things that make us happy. And I think oftentimes we think to ourselves, I'll be happy when I get the good job or when I graduate school. We kind of like back end happiness. It's like we set happiness as our last goal. When I think it goes along to like that last one, like building connection and whatnot, it's always important to be happy in the moment and not pushing that back.
Yeah, Alejandro, you bring up a great point. I actually have an example for that from a TED Talk I watched earlier. There's this guy's father that worked incredible hours, and actually to the point where even though he lived at home with his family, the father wouldn't see his own kids for months because of how much he threw himself at work. And the reason he did that is actually so that he could retire by 53. The devastating part of this story is that his father actually was diagnosed with ALS when he was 50 and ended up passing away when he was 53 before ever retiring. And that's a very tragic story, but it just kind of shows how important it is to not wait for happiness. Don't push happiness back and be like, oh, I'll be happy when I'm 53. I'll be happy when I'm 60. It's important to pursue that now, because at the end of the day, like we said earlier, your life can get flipped upside down whenever. And so it's very important to live your life to the fullest every single day. Carpe diem.
So I ask you guys to think about this for a little bit, but how do you live a life with no regrets?
I actually got a chance to do a lot of research about this. And the conclusion I came to actually really, really took me off guard, because when I think of regrets, I think of stupid mistakes. That's kind of what I thought originally. So I'm like, oh, of course, like to not have mistakes, you just, I don't know, live normal. Like don't be too extreme. Just kind of go through the motions. But the more I looked into it, actually the thing that people regret the most is actually not doing something. So instead of, living your life, going through the motions, I think a way to live a life without regrets is actually to take risks, to do what you want. Yes, it can fail and it can mess up, but the thing is, you tried. And so you won't ever regret trying. And so I think that's one of the things I found most interesting about this question is that, yeah, I really do think being spontaneous is the answer to living a life without regrets. And lastly, I think actually the most important way to deal with a regret is through a mindset. Regret doesn't teach us what we did badly, but rather reminds us what we can do better. I like to think of regret almost as a monitor for your fulfillment. It lets you know, okay, I feel this way. I'm not where I want to be. And you know what? It's okay to feel that. As long as you know that that's your call to action. That's how you know, okay, now I need to change something about my life so that I don't feel this regret anymore. And so I think almost just like failure, I think it's just a feeling to know that you need to change something.
So now we're going to get into our 1%.
And for those of you that don't know what a 1% is, a 1% is a small action towards a goal that you can do every single day that takes roughly 5 to 10 minutes.
So for this month, we've decided to do a collective 1%. And since we were talking about regrets, we find it very beneficial to know what makes us sad, happy, or regretful all throughout the month. That's why we've decided to use this app that tracks our daily activity as well as our happiness levels in order to know what makes us happy or sad over time. Because we think it's very important to know those statistics so we're able to implement those in our day-to-day lives. On our podcast, we make it very easy for our community to create 1% as well. On your screen, you'll see a bunch of different 1% that people have already sent in.
That one's our favorite.
And in 1 second, go ahead and pause your screen so you'll be able to create your 1% as well. So I hope you were able to go ahead and pause that video so you were able to create your 1%. And if you did, go ahead and type that in the comments down below so we can feature you in the next video. Also, we'll be documenting our 1% over on our Instagram. So make sure to follow us at dosomething.podcast on Instagram and also send us your 1% through there to be featured on the next episode.
Lastly, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll really help our channel out. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers very soon. And don't forget to do something. Peace.